call the meeting to order at 10 minutes past 5.
See, I think I signed bills and gave them over to Tom, so.
Yeah, they're there.
Oh, you got it already?
Yep. She's already gone.
But we just sent out a bill notice first, and because they didn't get anything, nobody returned their calls, then they went to the original billing address because we didn't have anything. So you can email the email address for the notice to. So it's K Buckley. K as in kite, yep. K Buckley at WBridgewater.com. So just if you can email the new address, the contact person, and
Did everybody have a chance to read the minutes?
Yeah. Yeah, it was okay.
Anybody have any
okay, have a good night.
changes to the minutes? Okay. So I hear a motion to accept the minutes.
Motion was set.
What time?
Second?
What
All
time
in
did you,
favor? Aye.
what time did you open the meeting?
10 minutes past 5.
Thank you.
Here, just be careful.
Oh, yeah, I need that.
Thank you, too.
I need to know what the score is.
Thank you.
I guess the next thing on the agenda is the asset management grant.
So it's more than just an asset management grant, it turns out. I kept wondering why it was costing so much. I printed out the page, so if you see the Tatter and Howard things, one of the things they want is for you guys to sign off that I can sign things. I'm not sure why they're changing that.
Who wants you to do that?
Tatter and Howard, if you look, I gave you the page, and then on the back page, I gave you the page where they're asking for you to sign off so that I can sign.
Why is that?
I have no idea, that's why they
I don't-
did it.
I don't think we ought to do that.
I was in no hurry for it.
If you don't do it, it just means the commissioners have to sign it.
Like, there's not gonna, it talks about loans, planning of abatement projects, that's not my authority.
No, tell them you're not gonna do that.
Alright, so the other thing was, their project seemed to drag on and on. I'm not beating up on engineers here, but we've been trying to replace a well here for more than 2 years, and we're still languishing, we haven't even done a flow test. I don't know whether we can ask them to change it and put in a thing that they can't draw down X amount of money until they get to a certain point in the project. We're languishing in all the projects that they have for us. I mean, the coronavirus wasn't their fault, but we were always here open and running, so, and it's not like if you're doing a pump test, there's too many people around you down there.
Right. Yeah, there's no reason why they can't do a pump test in this.
Right, so they're all probably the same.
Are they sending in your bills for this?
You signed a bill, I think, the last time. They're forever drawing, I understand that it's all about billable hours, but we're not getting anywhere.
Right.
If we were dying for water, well, the town would have died this summer because we would have been out of water. Because for 2 years now, they've been languishing on this project. So signing, I mean, granted, we're gonna get some of the money back, but I just hate signing another project with them that's gonna languish out there for years on end.
Right.
But the project is more, I gave you the copy of it, it's more than just putting our assets down. It has to do with, rate studies and there were other things. I'll find out here. I'm not finding
Well,
it.
it goes from what the state wants in the asset management plan though?
I believe so, because they had to submit it to them. It's critical components, asset inventory, price charge, list of assets, one-day workshop with us, evaluate buried distribution, create piping things. We already have a lot of that stuff. And then I saw somewhere there was a rate study and then the report, so.
Rate study would be a
So-
good thing to have.
I think back on their request to take Wayne off the hook, somebody should make a motion that we leave it to us to sign
Well, I think we just,
any of the bills that come in, not Wayne.
well, this isn't even bills, this goes way beyond that. This is for him to apply for grants directly for basically anything going on.
Right, we're not borrowing any money because we funded it in full with free
But
cash.
I mean, that's always gone through the Board of Water Commissioners.
Yeah, we just leave it that way.
Just-
yeah.
Unless they come back and tell us the DEP requires it that way.
Right, all right,
Which I can't, but I think they will.
yeah,
We'll just leave it alone and not do anything with it. And where you were asking about, can we put things in as far as making sure we get something for certain
Performance.
amounts?
so,
There's no reason we can't go back to them and say, look, because of this that we have going on, we want to have some stop points in here. Because they're giving us everything on a lump sum,
right,
which is nice for them,
yeah,
doesn't give us a lot of control. I mean, we should either ask them to do it on a different basis or come up with a couple of stop points to say, you know, we're gonna be at the end of a certain point, you can only bill up to a certain amount until
Right.
we get, you know, that work is complete, and we see something that says it's complete.
Yeah.
Just tell them, we need a better breakdown of that, because some of these things have just gone on for too long. There's no reason we have to take this as supplied.
right,
And they're also, I mean, they're saying 7 months from receipt of a notice to proceed from DEP, who knows how long that's gonna take. But we could sign this agreement, they might not be able to start until,
right,
for months. But yeah, for that much money, at least 3 stopping points maybe,
Yeah.
just go back to them and tell them we want more detail.
all right.
But I mean, other than that, the scope seems pretty complete on what they're asking for,
Yeah,
and what they're supposed to do compared to when you were looking at it before.
yeah, I've already fed them a lot of information in advance of it.
We all done with on that one?
Yeah.
Future Walnut Street subdivision projects. Wayne and I met with David Gagney and the people up there. And it's kind of interesting how I thought that the way David was talking in the beginning, they were going to be looking for us to give them so that they could get Brockton water and sewer. And it didn't turn out that they don't want Brockton's water and sewer. They want our water. Because they tried to work with Brockton and I guess they said it's impossible. So they,
Brockton doesn't want the building, basically, has been the story all along.
but they wanted to sell the water because they got plenty of water now and they don't have a market for it. So I don't know why they didn't want to talk to them, it didn't make sense, but that's neither here nor there. But what they wanted to do is they agreed that they said that they would lay a 8-inch water main from the tank down to the end of Walnut Street and into their project. And then they said that, what's his name? What's the guy, there's two other sites up there that are gonna have subdivisions.
Yeah, I don't remember the names, but,
Who's the,
Wasn't
oh, the
who's
fence
the
guy,
farm-
but he's
who's
not
the-
moving
the
yet.
guy on the right-hand side after the,
the farm down to the end?
Kaminsky.
Kaminsky, yeah.
Kaminsky.
Kaminsky's
No.
farm.
no, not the farm,
Oh, Leo's, no?
no, not Leo's.
The
He's
Moss?
owned it, he's owned it for, he's not a farmer, he's owned it for years, I think they
Oh, the
just,
fence guy?
no,
No.
well, him,
Yeah.
Hawkeye Fence, he's got a subdivision there. That when they get the main in, he'll probably tap into it. And then there's another one.
Yeah,
I'm
there
trying
are
to
like
think of
two
the guy's name.
projects.
He's been there forever.
And a minimum.
Could be Crowley.
Crowley? Is it Crowley? He's got a big piece of land there, he's got a subdivision, he's gonna tap into it. So, and then the other thing is,
We might want more than an 8-inch line then.
right, so I said to him, I don't think you're gonna be able to, we have a 12 going down the street. And we were looking to continue at 12 because of all the land down there, plus we have an industrial park that never got tied in at the Enterprise building.
Yeah.
That's all broken down into industrial lots, but nothing's ever been done, because they put a 12-inch main in, got out to the street and didn't realize we only had a 4-inch main out there. They went to tap into the main, and I said, how are you gonna tap a 12 into a 4? You know, said, what, is that all you got? I go, yeah, so they never tapped into it. Somebody said that they brought some water in, but there's only the tower there with a control building or something, there's no industrial buildings in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they brought the water in from Brockton's side. That's where they get the water from. So they agreed that they would, that 8-inch was never, I said, the 8-inch, you're gonna be on the end of the line. You're not gonna get hardly any water with all those other subdivisions, especially for fire protection. So they agreed that they would put a 12 in all the way to their project. But then we brought up that you had to use ductile iron steel, which is in our
Yeah.
specs now, which would triple the price of the main. So they asked if they could use C900. I told them the reason why we don't use C900 is because they avoid using fittings, and everybody puts torque on the pipe, trying to, save on the fittings, and people get hurt. So we went to ductile iron steel. So they seem to be willing to put a 12-inch main all the way down the street, all the way into their project, and so that the other, it'd be laid out for the other two projects. But they'd like to use a C900.
And who's this doing? Where is it?
Marianne?
It comes in from, it's gonna come in from Brockton, but it's in West Bridgewater.
Yeah, so somewhere, I'm not sure
Is it
where
coming in
they,
off of West Chestnut Street or where?
Yeah, it's off
Yeah,
West
yeah,
Chestnut
it's
Street,
already there.
almost across from, whatever that street that comes out.
Ash Street.
Ash Street, it's
Yeah.
near
Oh,
there.
so it's that one, okay.
Yeah,
yeah,
the politicians have been fighting it forever.
Right,
They don't
right,
want the
right.
guy to be able to put it
And
in.
they're looking for water for that now?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's got
So-
the road cut in and everything else, and he
Yeah.
can get water from Brockton.
So
And so how are we gonna get water to them over
Yeah.
there?
they're gonna bring a 12-inch main from the new tank on Walnut Street, down Walnut Street, and then through the woods.
Through the woods where?
They never said where they were cutting in, because I measured and it was 4,400 feet down to it,
Don't
but
they?
he came up with like 33, so maybe he's cutting
Can't
through
you
some
come up with
trouble.
that gators on Walnut on the left that goes down into the, because there's been surveys and stuff out there.
That's a huge wetland
Right.
crossing to go through there.
It's just pipe.
Well, they found a place where they can make a river crossing, a brook crossing, instead of going over the wetlands. They have a place where there's some wetlands, but it would take more of a congressional act to get over the wetlands than it would to get over the brook. So they, John Delano was there, and they asked him about that, and he told them what kind of filing and stuff like that they'd have to do. So that's kind of the way they were leaning. It sounded like they were gonna go over the brook, right, Wayne?
Yeah, all they're asking of us is to use the C900.
We just changed the duck line.
I know,
Yeah.
and then, but
just changed-
behind that, you have the other project now beginning to ramp up again.
I mean, let them talk to the people who are gonna be putting the subdivisions in along there, they're gonna be tapping into it, that need that 12-inch pipe, and let them pick up some of the cost of the extra.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know why, they said we did, we just put that in.
Right.
You know we're gonna end up tapping houses off of it direct, so we'll have direct taps off of it.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
have T's going into the, I mean, we're better off staying with what we have.
How about you, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a huge problem with the C900, but I mean, if we switch the ductile line, I'm not in favor of varying it now.
Okay. So I'll get back to David.
Or if you want, we'll change the bylaws, change our rules and regs back to C900, I don't know.
Yeah, because you're not, if you allow that one, then the
Yeah,
one
we-
you're
you
sitting
can't
there
put
putting
that
that.
If we do make that as a variance, we might as
You
well
gotta
just
change the
it back.
regs.
We
Yeah,
just
you can't
change
play
the
I'd
that.
rather see it, deduct the line for.
I'd much rather see it duct line too, but that was just one of the things that hit them by surprise.
I get it, it's gonna hit everybody.
So we'll just tell them that there would have to be ductile line steel and try to get the other two subdivisions to chip in, and maybe they can do something.
What they just put in Stony Road, was that ductile line?
Yeah, yes,
And they originally figured C900, I think, right?
yeah.
No, I mean, we made the decision,
Yeah, I mean,
and I think that's the right decision we made.
You can't play that game, put in your regs and then vary it for this one and not for that one.
No.
Okay,
You know, how do you do that? What the hell do you make the regs for?
right, okay. Well, that's what they asked. They just asked us if we could do that.
Yeah, I can't blame them.
So I said, I'll bring it back to the board. It's not my decision. I can't say yes or no, that's a board decision. So I'll just tell David that they have to use the ductile steel.
Unless we change the regs.
Yeah, no, well, I think we're better off with the ductile iron steel. All right. Anything else from that meeting that I didn't?
I think that was the only pressing issue. After that, they still have a lot of legwork, so.
Yeah. You guys got any questions about that? That was,
No, it actually might help with the tank a little bit, it'll get things moving.
oh, that's another thing.
Oh, I'm sorry, back to that one more time. We're gonna tell them 12-inch, not 8-inch, Tom.
12 inch.
Yeah.
And they already know it's gonna be 12.
Oh, all right, okay.
They already know it's gonna be 12, but then when we told them it's gotta be 12, and then we told them it's gotta be ductile, that was like the double whammy. It went from 8 to 12 and then ductile, you know what I mean? So they said, can you see if we can get a waiver on the ductile to use C900, because we're willing to put the 12 inch in. So I said, I'll bring it back to the board. So I'll just tell David, is he's still talking with them over other things, you know, they got wetland stuff and like that.
How many houses is that?
They said it'd be about 100.
Where is that?
Just in that one, not all
No,
three?
all of them.
All of them together?
Didn't they say about 100, 100?
Well, I thought they said George Millet's could be like 100 plus, and then theirs, I just think it was like 7. There were like 2, like 40 and 30 or something. There were 2 other
So
numbers.
170?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I thought they were talking about just over 100, but 170. So and then you gotta have hydrants, they have to put hydrants every 500 feet, and gates every 1,000 feet.
Okay.
All right. 40B subdivision, Scotland Street.
that's Tom.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, so that project's been going back and forth for a couple of years now. And they were ready to sign the plans at our last zoning board meeting. I was looking at them and they made some basic changes. So originally, one of the things we got out of them was to run a 8-inch main down Scotland Street to feed those houses on Scotland Street, you know, just get them extended down there so that all those houses down there would have water if they wanted it. That was just something the town would get out of it. And when they changed some other things on the plans, they took the water line, and I'll show you, they put it behind the 6 new houses on Scotland Street and behind some houses on the new project. So what they were thinking was they tied it into the back of the houses on, but you couldn't get the houses on the other side of Scotland Street. So I asked them to put it back in Scotland Street. And I just wanna show you, make sure that's what everybody wants here, that's all. I mean,
yeah,
that's what made sense to me, but,
yeah, that makes more sense.
and everything on the plan was all 6-inch duct line.
Really?
Yeah. So,
It's got a minimum of 8.
so I've got the old plan here, we'll look at that first. To show you what they were gonna do, and I don't think that's what we want. So on the old plan, instead of running it down Scotland Street, well, this is the one we almost signed the other night, they wanted to run the main like this. And their idea was to feed these houses like this, off this main. But then somebody's gonna have to come down here and flush this thing. Now, this is an easement they gave us. Okay?
Yeah,
And then how are you gonna get out here to flush the end of the line?
that's just a dead end down there?
Yeah. Instead of water lines they're proposing to
Yeah.
feed these houses, but you couldn't feed the houses over here.
Now, do they have a water line over here for these houses?
Yeah,
Do they
these-
have
this
one
is
over
all-
here?
They have separate,
Oh,
they
yeah.
have separate
So
roads.
instead of running at Scotland Street,
Yeah.
they wanna do this.
What they should do is bring it down here.
Well, that's what it is now.
Oh, is it? But
Yeah.
But-
But it's not looped, so,
Not loop.
but anyway, after our discussion the other night, we're gonna move it back out here and back to, like this plan, all the details are 6-inch duct line. So.
Well, that's a lot of water for the neighbors because they feed it off the farm, which is
So now,
lots of fire protection.
this is the latest here, so let's see, 12. So now we got it back out on Scotland Street
Okay.
for the hydrant.
And they can tie to either side.
Now we can tie either, at least it's in the street, or it's on the side of the street, just off edge of pavement. I didn't think this was right, anything here. This,
Now, where does this line here go? Is this one here? Go
this
up?
is all the proposed subdivision, all this out here.
What's this water line going up this way?
There's more stuff, there's more
Yeah,
stuff.
it-
in
it-
that
it keeps going that way.
Oh, does it?
This is phase 2, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll show you that. little-
So that, does that one there loop around somehow?
This is the basic layout of the project here. You know, so that one you were looking at was here, I think.
No, we were, yeah, it was coming.
Yeah,
Somewhere heading
It was
this way.
coming this
It's gonna
way.
come all the way down here.
Yeah.
They
So,
put another line.
Instead of, so what they had changed was to run it down here.
Yeah.
It was gonna be in here, so now you gotta get behind these houses, to go flush the end of the line.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna service anything on this side of the street, so now it's coming back down Scotland Street.
Yeah. That makes more sense.
Are we getting that in phase 1?
Phase
Well,
Two,
I'm
I would
saying, if they're putting all of this stuff in,
first, yeah.
right, we should make them do that in phase 1, because he might not get to that for years.
Yeah, I'm not sure we have the option of doing that at this point.
And if
The
you-
project's basically been approved, but we didn't sign off on the plans because they moved that water line in. We went back in the minutes and that wasn't what we discussed. What we discussed was running it down
Did
Scotland.
it say in the minutes specifically phasing on the water main? I mean, if they're
I
putting,
don't
if
think,
they're doing all the piping in here, and I think they have a main coming down from here
I
anyway,
think so,
right?
yes, yes.
We should have them extend that now. because we might not get that ever.
If the
And
project fails.
they're gonna get most of the vast majority of that.
This is
subdivision.
phase one right here, this is phase two, and then they're coming back down here for phase three, so it should at least be done.
Duplexes.
It should at least be done during phase two, correct?
At least, I'd rather see it in phase one.
Yeah.
If they're going in there, they're gonna be tying in here and putting main in.
Yeah, cause I
Have to
know
put that
at least
main in
I
there.
two
think-
people down there that want in.
I think they might be feeding that this way. that
So
phase
that's
one.
what we should, 12?
12 is
Is
the
it
beginning of the
Loop 10. So maybe they were gonna dead end it first. I might be wrong, because I was looking upside down. But I mean, they're running.
Yeah, originally they were supposed to
That's
come
my
out
room
down
down
in
here.
here, yeah.
So they're not doing this, this is phase two. All this here.
With just that side of the.
This is
I
phase
think
one.
even this is phase two. This is phase
Okay.
two too. Yeah, all this is phase two.
So they've got another.
There's a connecting little road here. So that's where it breaks off. These houses are phase one, this is all phase
So
two.
is this the other side of that?
Yeah, cause there's the duplexes.
Comes through, and they're bringing the
Yeah,
water.
so they're
up
bringing
here.
this first for phase one.
Okay.
But everything's, let me see the details here.
So where's that water coming in the first time? This is between some houses then, right?
Yep,
This isn't Maple Street.
no,
This one.
Maple
Oh,
Street,
that's-
Maple Street's down here.
Yeah.
That when they were first doing that, that's the spot they had. They came out with this one little area that they had access in there.
Yeah.
But if you look here, we're back to 8-inch ductile line. pipe.
What did they end up doing for the sewerage on that?
It's all septic.
It's all, I think, individual, aren't they? Yeah.
That's what I heard. I
Yeah.
haven't seen anything
Yeah.
yet, but I heard it was gonna be individuals. I don't know, that looks awful tight to get individual septics.
Oh my God.
Yeah, with
For-
duplexes
for-
on the
for
lot.
cells are all-
Is that?
Yeah, they're all in
It's
front.
all
What does it
individual.
look like?
They're not gonna have any yards.
Yeah, they should have septic systems under the whole yard.
Yeah, there's some single family and some duplex.
Yeah, these all
These are
duplex.
singles, these are
all do that.
duplex. They did away with the cottage housing. So that's all, I just wanna make sure that,
Now, if they were doing that as part of phase one, I'd say, but if, yeah,
I
if
don't-
if they're not even, I mean, if they're connecting from there, unless they're planning on looping all of that right away.
yeah, I don't think so, cause it's, in the end, it's not gonna loop, so. That's phase one, this is phase two.
Yeah, they do
There's
connect,
an emergency access road.
but they're running the water.
Well, the water does, yeah.
So it
Well,
will,
at least we'll get
Yeah,
somewhat of a loop here. This one here comes over, then Maple Street is tapped underneath the highway to, they're all dead ends, but they do loop around a little bit.
should we see if we can get them to,
if there's nothing to tie it into way up here
Oh.
though, right, because it is way back here,
what is it then, right here?
cul-de-sac.
Yeah,
Yeah, they got high up there.
I figured we're getting something anyway, and
Yeah.
just extending it down here.
Okay, phase two must have some extra different septic. because
Are they
they've
going
got-
down far
they've got
enough to
sewer.
cover all the houses?
Pardon me?
Are they going down far enough to cover all the houses?
Yes.
Cause I know
supposed
one
to.
time he
Yep.
didn't wanna do that.
No, he's supposed
so
to.
this one here, the water goes down.
Stops right there.
There's a hydrant right there,
But how about this house here?
probably one long.
They probably didn't want to bring this hydrant down the end, there's all this other stuff going on down here. The septic, so then this is a drainage ditch, too much going on. And the community mailbox over there, so. Yeah. Wait, that's correct, huh?
Oh, that's the state, out down to like 8,000 square foot lots. And some of them.
Why do we need to have some actual affordable housing stuff going on, so we don't have to take the 40Bs that
We got a long way to go.
we haven't done anything over the years.
I'm just looking to see if I can see them caught on
Well,
that.
that's the hill where the septic, in fact, they are still putting it.
Yeah, small, way reduced though.
What's
Yeah,
that?
because that's the regular leaching field for phase two, maybe?
Phase two, yeah.
Because phase two shows a pump station. But that's the last house,
Yeah,
okay?
I'm
'Cause
trying to find.
this is that pump.
So that's a shared system?
It's gonna be shared
Yeah.
at least for phase two. That's the house number there.
160.
164.
What does it say?
That's the last house, Panos.
All right, so if you look at. You wanna go over that?
It doesn't get out, this is the, Panos is here, it doesn't show.
All right, so we stop, they're stopping one lot short of the
Well,
other.
I don't know, it shows it right here going past the hydrant, I think.
Yeah, but if they don't carry it
They
anywhere
could cap
else.
it there, but at least we're getting that lot. Yeah, I'm wondering if they're going far enough, because we got a house even further down.
Is there?
I
think
see, I don't have the houses drawn, but I see 6 lots going down there.
so. On this side? Oh,
Yeah,
these
on
are
this
six.
side, yeah.
Yeah, this is short, there's one more lot right here.
Yeah, so if he ends there, then there is one more house that's a little
On
further.
that side, but on the other side, Wayne, isn't there a house further down?
Yeah, I guess, put up your phone, put the map.
Let me just see that. Yes, I don't know if they're ending here, it doesn't show any of the lots over
Yeah,
here.
there are basically 2 houses.
Past Panos?
Yeah.
That's
Over
where
here,
it
right?
goes.
Yeah.
The water's stopping right there. Their hydrant's right there.
So that must be where they're ending it, with a stub.
Yeah.
What started it, I think, was these people mentioned, these people were in during the hearings.
They're ending at what, 164?
Looks like it. I'm not positive.
I got 160,
You know, if we put it here.
155, I got
you know,
183
right
and
here's gonna be
180.
Looking for it right.
5, yeah.
Possibly, who knows, yeah. At least it's not far, you could
You
feed
can
it.
just run a line across and feed it to us.
Right. Even if we had to drop down the size or.
But thing is, like I said, if that's phase two, this is not.
I don't have a 164.
This isn't.
There's,
I mean, that's a long.
I don't have the other side because the assessment never gave us
Right.
the update.
If they, who knows, they may start that again
Oh,
this too. I
see,
don't
I'm
know.
looking at the wrong
I'd be
side of the road,
surprised.
that's what I'm looking at.
We've got to get them all hands on.
well.
Yeah. I don't know where the market is right now,
Deal with that now.
on a single system on it.
Yeah, 164, I got as the last lot,
Yeah.
but there
That's
could
the
be more lots after
State.
that.
No, but you still.
Unless it's wetlands.
No, I
I know, that's what I'm saying, it's not
On that
bad.
side, there's only a few.
I don't want to say it.
The other side goes further.
I get it.
after. Because it's not water department business
No, but I'm understanding what you're saying.
Yeah. There's 3.
You don't have that on the, you
But
don't
that's
have
what the
that
state
on that?
allows, that's the
No,
state in
no,
Massachusetts.
Unless it failed to draw.
That they
Because
go by state
I
minimums on the
got it
floor.
on mine, and it was there when I
It's
left.
crazy.
And we got no say.
We got no say. We try to get some, that's the one thing we're getting out of them, is just extending the water main.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
No, so.
we had a couple other things, but.
Here's what it is. And of course, that's gonna, go right there, hop over the river, and they're basically in.
How far did they
industrial
go?
Park now.
How far did they go toward that 164?
The hydrant.
I think right here,
Like right on that, almost on.
that's
that
what it
property.
looks like, I haven't found another.
Yeah.
But
plan.
it did look like there might have been, it could just be a
Shows
stub.
that we should have at least a stub,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, because that's all we got for lots, and that 164 is the last one.
But there is one over here, I think.
Yeah, that one has been there for a long, long time, way before any of these other
Yeah,
houses
right,
were
right.
built, I think.
So that's it, we got it back to 8-inch duct line, and we're gonna run the line down to the last
And
lot.
maybe we'll just
Well, we
see.
got something out of it.
Alright, that's, I just wanna make sure that we're all on the same page.
And all the internals, all 8-inch?
8-inch, supposed to be, yeah, I haven't looked at every single plan here, but everything I've seen is back to 8-inch DIP, so.
Okay.
Everything I found, and it was clear in the minutes and everything that we wanted 8-inch, so.
Yeah, but then it came back to 6.
But, so.
All right, so we done discussing that, Tom?
Yep, I would say so.
Okay. We don't have to take any votes on any of that, right?
Just wanna make sure we weren't missing anything.
Okay, water rates. We started a discussion about that earlier. Do you wanna make a motion?
I want to know how exactly it needs to be worded, so, because again, we have our rate list that gives all the different numbers, and as long as we're going up proportional,
Right.
that's fine. It's just a matter of.
Do you know how to do that?
The vote for last time was
No,
one.
I never, no.
You don't know how to raise the rate like that?
Well, like, so if there's like 93 units, it's 15 times 90. It's like, if there's 93 units, we do 15.
Like the
times-
three-family,
Yeah,
a two-family house, you get $15 plus $7.50 increase.
I have the right.
I've never done that before.
And then a three-family house would get $15, you get $30.
So they get 15 plus 2 750s.
Yeah, two 750s. The four-family would get $15 and three 750s.
Yeah. The only one I think.
And I think that's the end of residential that we have like that. Then I think we went to businesses. Some of the businesses go up to 7 and 8 units.
Yeah, but we have like residential with a whole bunch of different numbers. It's gonna be,
Yeah, residential, 2 units, 3 units, 4
Yeah,
units.
that looks fairly straightforward.
Mm.
I just don't think I have, like, Matfield Woods, I think that's the wrong rate thing here, because I couldn't get it to add up.
well, I noticed too, a couple of the different forms, one had different rate codes, and like Matfield Woods was on a different rate code on each one.
Yeah,
Turner Riverbend was on one and wasn't on the other.
right. So turn 4 units, but it's. It's 4 buildings, but the turn, isn't it 12 units in each building? Maybe that's why it doesn't add up. Requires figuring out who's got what. It's not that hard. It's the full rate plus each subsequent unit is a half.
Right. Except for Matfield Woods, we used to do them like that, but they used to fall into so much of their water would fall into excess
Yeah.
that they wanted to be treated as individual houses, getting a $15 or a basic charge for each unit with the full amount like a regular house.
Maybe that's why it wasn't, and I couldn't figure out why that one wasn't adding up.
Yeah. No, they wanted it that way.
And the question is our billing system doing it that way? Because there's a lot of odd numbers.
6680, yep, it does. That's how it is. I couldn't figure, because I looked at that, I'm like, well, that's not a half, that one stumped me.
Yeah. That was a request by the Matfield Woods, because I think it ended up, when we were doing the math, pretty close to the same,
Yeah.
but they felt like they wanted to get, it made them look like they were using a lot of excess,
Right,
because only one unit was getting the full amount.
yeah,
Every other unit was getting half the amount that a regular house would get. And they were saying that their units are big units, are not just like a regular trailer that they used to have years ago.
yeah.
So they use more water. So we agreed, we said, okay, we'll do it that way, but we couldn't see too much of a difference in the bill.
So if we change that from $15, a $15 increase in the basic charge, say a $15 increase plus $7.50 per unit,
Well, and there that would be,
$7.50 for each additional unit.
theirs would go up to 9,185.
And what was it before that?
6680.
Yeah. Try that everything.
Unfortunately, that's what we need to make the bills work.
Okay, do you have that spreadsheet? You can pop those in and see what,
No, that I don't, because I just noticed Beacon Park's missing off of my sheet too.
the 2760 is that Beacon Park,
Mm,
2007.
I don't think it's in here. I don't have it on my sheet.
It's on one of the sheets,
Yeah, I
and
know.
not on one of the other ones.
Right. Maybe it's because I had too many sheets.
Yeah, because the Beacon was like an RZ or something.
Yeah, it has a weird code, yep.
Yeah, that code, there was, the basic charge for that was 2760.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the comment wrote that. Alright.
Oh, I got another thing on that, going back to the, Walnut Street. Now, Wayne, can you bring up that Walnut Street tank? Do you have the drawing of the, water main and the way that was tapped in?
I don't have the drawing.
Did you change it on the GIS map yet?
Let's see what's there. Mr. Farm, there it is.
Yep. Okay. So, you have the extension there, the 12?
Yep. It's out one stick. Goes beyond the gate, past Farm Road, one stick.
Oh, you didn't make them bring it down to the next road. They
No,
put in 2 roads, but you didn't make them extend it down.
no, he wasn't made to bring it down.
So show me what they did down up there with the 8, did they tie it in, you
Yeah,
said
they
before?
tapped back into the 4.
Why would they do that? That's crazy. We're trying to eliminate the 4. They should have brought that 12 down to there and left it off with another stick of pipe and a gate. So now, how are these guys, if they go up there with ductile iron, tap it into the 12 where we left it off, at that, for the next subdivision to start, which these guys weren't made to do.
They just pick it up, it's its own thing, but they're gonna have to cross the 4.
Oh, we gotta cut the 4 off. When they get done, we turn the people over to the 12.
No, they asked, they're not gonna do the
They're not gonna
tiles.
tie them over, but we are. There aren't that many houses up there. When we tie them over, the idea is to get rid of that 4. Those people are always complaining about low water pressure up there.
Yeah, because it's only 42 pounds in that tank. At the base of that tank, that gauge reads 42 pounds.
So elevation, you don't get any more pressure than you have
No,
to put it up.
2.3 pounds per foot.
So, yeah, so that's why they really need a 12 inch.
Well,
Well-
the tank's on the 12.
but the 4-inch is, what year is that? Tap on that 4-inch.
1912.
1912. We started in 1910. So it's one of the oldest water mains in the town. So definitely, it should be one of them on the way out, and we tap the 8-inch main back into it. How, when they go by there, how are we gonna tap that? Is there a gate right there that we can shut them off from the 4?
No, the gate for the 4 is all the way back.
No, the gate where they tapped in, did they tap the 4 with a live tap? How did
Yeah,
they do that?
yeah, they did with a live tap.
They did a live tap, so that's.
There is a gate on the other side to shut it down as it goes down the street.
That's why we need to be reviewing these subdivision plans when they come in.
Well, someone's gotta let us know when they come in.
I know that it's supposed to turn in 17 copies, and we're supposed to get a copy and for our input for whatever board's reviewing it. Because we could have asked them to loop, you know.
So you don't show a gate there for that 8-inch, right?
I think there's a gate there. I'll have to go out and make sure it just didn't get missed.
What's that other gate?
There's a hydrant there at the end.
No, but I see a gate in line. Is there an inline gate there?
Yeah, on the 4.
On the 4, there's an inline?
Yeah,
What's that other?
there's a hydrant up there.
Oh, that's a hydrant I'm seeing.
So these guys are gonna go up there, they're gonna pick up, take the cap off and start laying the 12. And then when they go by, we gotta have them leave off
The stub.
a stub for the 8. And then we gotta have them put a T and a gate on there, which we're gonna have to go back and now tie that 8-inch in. 8-inch into the 12.
If they're gonna do that, we need to see a plan so we can detail things like this. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you just say, go ahead, we're not gonna be happy with what gets done in the end. You're gonna see some sort of plan, where they're running it, how they're running it,
Right.
specify the fire hydrants and all that, don't just say every 500, because if you don't specify, we're not gonna get what we asked for, or what we want.
Well, they're still in the thinking stage. They're trying to still see if it's feasible.
Yeah, they're gonna have to come up with a plan going down that street.
Right.
I mean, they're not gonna just say we're gonna do it.
Right, that's what I'm getting at. There needs
As
to
long
be-
as the plan comes to us, like you said, not
Well, there
just,
needs to be a plan that we approve if they're gonna tap into our water main.
Yeah, they were still working on whether it's cost effective or not.
Right, so it's,
What I was explaining to them too is, it shouldn't be real costly for them, because you see what their 4 inches?
yeah,
That's like way off the road. That's in Old Walnut Street. So the
Yeah.
pavement is way over to the left, you see the road?
yeah.
So the water main is, I said, you guys can lay the 12, that's all town property. So you got a big area there where you can go down without replacing pavement or worrying about, traffic or anything, you're gonna be off the road quite a bit. And then there's gonna be places where they are gonna be off the road, but then they'll swing back out again and they'll be off the road. Well, that's one thing, we gotta make sure we get that tapped in, because if we're gonna tap everybody over and you wanna eliminate that 4, because there aren't that many people up there, sooner or later, we're gonna have to get rid of that 4. We gotta figure out how we're gonna get that when they do it. We'll just have them leave off a T and a gate, and I guess that'll probably be our responsibility to get it hooked in. We should have made that contractor do that and leave it off with another piece of pipe after that.
Probably should have had them run it down Walnut Street. And loop that whole thing. really.
Too late now, we'll get it with this other one if this goes through.
Yeah.
So, not like we can really do much else on.
All right, well, that's one thing when that comes up again, we gotta remember, we got an issue there. Update on the replacement well?
Well, we haven't gotten through the water rate stuff yet.
No, did you have to issue a letter and a thing and?
Your other table here though.
Yeah,
Again, I was going dizzy going through all the stuff Kerry sent me, trying to, because everywhere you look, there's like something that doesn't make sense. But how come Esther Drive has $1,000 basic rate and we only took in $593?
I never even got that far, why it came up a negative number, but it just could be because I did the basic rate and that's not how they work. I think they asked for a discount or something because they're
Who's that way?
low income, Esther Drive. Something happened there, I remember the rates went up, there's something happened there, I don't remember what.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it makes it.
But it's not, trust me, the numbers didn't just go smoothly in.
Oh, I know, like, I spent an ungodly amount of time going through trying to figure that into that DOR
Yeah.
format. And it's like, every time you look, you find something different
Right.
that's, you know,
It's not, the billing system is not made to generate out what we want out of it.
it should be able to do that though.
And it doesn't, it's not, I never trust it. I'm not even sure that we're actually missing water. I don't know that it doesn't catch everything.
It seems to
I've
have
never
trouble.
liked it.
It has trouble doing multiplication on some of them. You can't, some of those excess numbers. But I mean, actually, if they're supposed, assuming we go forward with that asset management, we
Yeah,
push them to go through and really look at the stuff going on with the rates in the building system. Because we've got, notice we have, Wendy's is being built industrial, according to those sheets. There's some houses on Captain Carlson that are being built business instead of residential. And just stuff I happened, because I was going through all the stuff, I just happened to see those things. You gotta wonder how much stuff is.
This stuff was all set up before. I was there at the tail end and then it was set like the first bill went out and the other person left, so I didn't have any say on how.
No, that's probably just how they, when they were putting stuff in, there might have been some mistakes in how they
Yeah.
quoted stuff and it just never got picked up.
right.
Because it's so confusing to try to go through it. So you have your sheet, or you can go through and put those in,
I
to make
can,
sure the number works.
right, I can fix the rate code sheet, yeah.
So then on the letter. Yeah, how do we say that $15 per quarter? Do we just say that $15 per quarter plus $7.50 per additional unit per the rate code?
Well, all you can really say is that the rate code, it's not just 15 though, it's more than that, so that all of the rate codes will be adjusted up to match that. Not sure how to say it to cover it, but it's,
What's the term riverbed, oh, I know which one that one is.
yeah, the golf course.
Yeah. So their basic charge is $260.
Per unit, yeah.
How many units do they have?
So there are 4 buildings in there.
4 buildings with
I believe there's 12 units in each building.
12, okay.
can't be held to that. I'll have to go back and find the plans now and look. And then I'll get it on a sheet somewhere, put a number,
So the first building's at the $40.
Right.
With the increase of 15.
Yeah.
And then the others are at $750, the other 11.
Yeah.
With the basic rate charge per the rate code by $15 plus $7.50 per additional unit per quarter. Talking about something that actually does what it said, because if you go by, somebody reading the letter, says the basic charge goes up by 15, $66.80 becomes $66.95.
Right, and it's not,
And I know it's not, but if we say this per, plus the $7.50,
but you can't be, then you have to be specific 23 more times, or 22 more times. It's not-
Well,
So you want-
we're doing that for all of them.
Right,
We don't have to be, and we don't even, and the DOR thing doesn't have to have all this breakdown. Once we know the new numbers, just average out
you know,
residential, unit, business, industrial, we could actually average out all of them and come up with one average number times the number of service connections for their table that we give to DOR. As long as we have what's in that letter.
I think we should look at the numbers, amount of revenue that you're gonna generate. You may generate a lot more money than you think you're gonna generate. Because if you're only raised at $15 on a 3 units or a 4 unit, you're actually raising it twice as much. You're not raising it by
I'm
$15.
thinking it might be higher than we were thinking too.
Yeah, so we're gonna raise a lot more money. We may not have to go up $15.
Yeah, but we gotta get this to get, actually, the letter itself is good as far as if we can just tell them we have to hold off on the dollars, that dollar value. I thought the letter's fine. But yeah, we wanna make sure if that 15, if it's gonna be too much now.
Yeah, because you're gonna be generating, on the Riverbend, Matfield Woods, residential 3 units, 4 units, residential 2 units, and then you got, Esther Drive, you got,
Matfield, Riverbend, Beacon,
then you got all the businesses, 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units, 8 units, 11 units, 12 units, and industrial, 1 unit, 2, 5, and 6. That's all gonna bring in more. So Kerry, do you understand what we're saying? Okay. And they get, instead of like the regular customer who would get the 750 gallons, for that money that they're paying on the basic, they're gonna get, would be half of that, half of the 750 for each unit. That's, they get a little more water that they can use under that basic charge. if the computer's set up that way, the amount of water that they're using shouldn't really change. It shouldn't be already in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, how do we wanna do this? Do we wanna have her,
Well,
run another one and figure out if we can lower that rate a little bit?
I think we kinda need to look at that, because that's, you said that could end up bringing in a whole bunch more. That's at 69 minutes, 167, there's Matfield. 3, 4, no, 3.
Best thing to do is put that on a spreadsheet and just do it. Wayne, why don't you go in there and put it on Excel and, put your residential units, you got 2,272 units, put them in at $15 and then, you know, just go down through and then add them all up, what the increase is gonna be. How you doing it there?
Yeah. So that's 60.
That's a Matfield, is built full. Looks like Beacon is built full too.
have beacon parking there, but it looks like just the basic affects it by about $14,000 across the 4 quarters. It's not, it's like 3,000 that you're generating by changing that basic rate. I don't have beacon parking there, I didn't realize it was missing, and I haven't affected bulk water, and I haven't changed S to drive yet, because I gotta figure out how many buildings are asked to drive. But that's it after the changes, 12,870.
You know, the extra drive, the state pays their water bill.
Right.
So when they ask for a break, the town isn't, you're not giving it off the town's revenues.
Right.
The state reimburses them, they pay it, but then the state reimburses them for the water.
I just know they were squawking last time, that's all I remember.
You just gotta be careful when we give them a break, because it comes out of the town
Right.
when the state pays it.
I think there are 8 units per building.
It comes out of their budget probably, right? I mean,
Well, when they get the water bill, they're reimbursed for it.
oh, whatever the bill is that get directly?
Yeah. They
that's
get the money back, whatever the water
Yeah,
bill is.
that's not what they were, I don't remember them saying that the last time they were here, but
When I met with them, that's what they told me,
yeah.
that happens. They have to front the money, but then they submit the bill to the state reimburses them. Of course, it comes out of their budget, but if we give them a break on it, they keep the difference to spend on something else, and it makes, the town's picking up the cost through everybody else is paying a higher water bill because we're not getting as much money as we should out of the state for the water over there.
6 buildings, unless you want to include the clubhouse.
You get 7 buildings.
Yeah, so that's the clubhouse. But the buildings, the clubhouse, which is one of the buildings, doesn't have apartments in it. Each
Right.
one of the things has 8
You just count it
units.
as one unit. That's one unit.
So you're just gonna charge them the basic 55 per unit per building?
Yeah, that one there, you're just gonna charge them the regular for the, whatever like a regular house. You're not gonna charge them any more, you're just gonna charge them one basic charge for that one. How many units are in each building, do you know?
There are 8.
8? So they pay 15 and then 7 times 750.
5 times 6 buildings. 6 plus 5. 1540. So this becomes. But you're not generating.
Is that per quarter you're doing that?
Yeah, that's per quarter. So it's times 4.
Times 4, so what do you got there now, 13 something?
Oh, wait a minute, but that's, yeah, there's a big difference. Yeah, that's per thing. So then the revenue over here doesn't include it. I don't know what that number is, let me get rid of it. Nope, that's what it is. So, oh, did I start, that units up there is wrong. Oh, this might not be the right sheet to do this in. This is when I was trying to make it work.
I mean, the sheet from when you gave us, just the
Yes,
15 alone should give us almost 40 grand.
And,
So it should be a lot over that.
this one. Yeah, that's much better. I'm gonna go back over here. Got this.
We need a simpler water rate structure is what we need.
Well, let's make this a little easier.
This is murder.
It's not that bad. I used to do one that, then we could just change the rate at the top, and all the rates would change
Oh,
automatically.
I just changed the wrong.
We used to have one set up like that, play with different rates, so you get the number you want.
Undo. Yeah, alright, now we're back.
And out when Scotland Street comes in, we're gonna have, I'm assuming that those are all gonna be metered individually.
Yep.
I would
So
say
we're
so.
gonna have some that are single family, some that are two family.
Right. No,
No,
they're not apartments, so all the
the duplexes,
they're
so they should have their own
duplexes,
meter.
they're all
Oh, maybe separately.
full
metered.
amount, yeah.
Yeah.
I would
Each
say
one will have a meter,
separately metered, right?
separately metered, so they get the full,
So we
Just like a regular house.
Okay.
because they're both gonna have a backyard and have outside faucets. An apartment house,
Not much of a back.
no.
Those lots.
Well, so they won't have much of an excess, that's all.
Yeah.
Alright, so now, let's see, let me get rid of the other sheet here, that one.
Oh, there we go.
Save it? No. Put that there. Alright, so now it goes from 657, 310, 478. Am I on the right? Let me make sure I'm looking at the right, yeah, because it's just condensed over here. So doing that, I don't have Beacon Park in, I don't have Beacon Park in here yet, and we haven't adjusted the bulk water, because I don't know what to do with that, but that generates 179,190.
Which gets us to what's the new total?
And what do we need?
We needed 200 and, but remember, we were short on a wet year. You had 3 wet years back to back. So this is a drought year, so you're generating more revenue already as it is, because they're using more water. This is
That's
only.
still, that you can't satisfy DOR that way though.
Right.
Right, you needed 200 and, I think I have that sheet out here. 228 or 238,000.
I thought that $15 was.
That $15 should have more than, and if you go by what was the stupid budget pages go, we should have a lot more than we need. Yeah, we collected 191, 294. Budget is 766.
Shortfall of 228,772.
So this year,
How come when we did it with the 15, we had a surplus of 32?
Yeah.
There's something wrong in the numbers.
Something's wrong.
I mean, this year here will probably cover it anyway, right? Being such a dry year.
Yes,
We're gonna, without even raising the rate.
right.
Well,
That's
didn't the first couple months of that fall at the end of last fiscal year?
So May, I'd have to.
May and
see.
June?
So May would be our last bill, and then we go into it. The next one is July, right?
August 1st.
August. So May was our last bill. And they pay in right up until.
How much we've been pumping, Wayne?
We're down, but we're still up from, I didn't get to update that sheet today, but
We're over $1 million?
no, we're down in the like 7 and 8s, upper 7s and 8s. Cause
Wow.
it's gotten muggy and, you know, the weather change. When the weather changes, if it goes back again, then they'll go back, but
So there must be a lot of people shutting the sprinkler system off and then turning it back on, huh?
yeah, after the last rain increase, I noticed that people were, put their rain sensors where they should have been. There are a few people that don't, but yeah, I only saw a few, like I come in through Harvestwood, and I only saw like one going this morning.
Where normally you'd see what, 2 or 3.
You see, yeah, you can see where they've all fired off.
Yeah. I think that every time we go up there, people,
Yeah, they rethink it, or they think about putting in a well to just subsidize, to take care of their sprinkler systems.
you know,
I'm surprised we're under 1 million gallons. With the new subdivisions and everything.
Yeah, no, they've been holding off, and of course, once they slow down, now we're almost into flushing season, so now you start getting the yellow water complaints again.
If we, going back here, the original one, we were generating an extra 152,340. Right, now we're generating 750 a unit on top of that for additional units.
Right.
And that leaves us, so, minus 152,340, 76,382.
Have you got have you got another Excel spreadsheet in there, in the other computer?
What do you mean?
In the computer in there? Is there an Excel spreadsheet?
Yeah, all the computers in Excel.
This one, mine doesn't have it. What? Turn the computer on there, I'll go see if I can do one.
Four. That's not. These are the column. Street.
69 units would be...
Aaron, those are good.
What was that? Well, it's times four, let's do it.
Yeah, Wayne, don't forget, in that budget number,
Yeah.
we still have backflow test, sprinkler fees.
Right, there's still, there are other, and I could not, trust me, I tried all day to get,
No, I mean, what we're looking here, like we're gonna be short,
oh, well, that's
we're not counting that stuff yet, right? We have the budget's I knew we couldn't have been that far off the way we were talking about it last time.
So the total fees add up to about $459,802.
Yeah, so if we were, so that's gonna put us up over.
The hard part is the excess, because as you.
Even if all we assume is last year's excess, which we should do better,
Right,
I think we still make it.
yeah, we'll make it, you're gonna make it on the excess. The excess gets dangerous because you're raising the basic, but you're not giving them any more.
You need to take an
No,
average.
but what I'm saying, when you just figured out we are short how much money?
220
When you looked at it, doing that spreadsheet, it doesn't have the sprinkler and backflow and stuff in it, does it?
No, because that's not.
But
part of
that's,
the whole-
but that's part of the revenue that hits that budget, that 2,140,000.
Right.
So we add in that, whatever it is, it's over 300
We
grand.
were short last year because they didn't use water. It
No,
was
but
a-
I know, two different things, we're killing this, we're going over and over this, trying to figure out if we're short.
Right,
But if we're not counting 300 grand plus in revenue that we're gonna get,
What are you talking about, out from the sprinkler fees and stuff like that?
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's still part of the budget. You
Yeah,
gotta count it.
yes, it counts.
and so if we need to bring in 2 million,
Right, the
When I do
rates
that
are
rate.
only a portion of it.
yeah,
The other
so the
portion-
rates are coming up short by a certain amount. We add in, and the backflow test and the sprinkler fees are gonna be the same, right? The tie-in fees could change. But there's 300, last year, from what I saw from, what Kerry sent me, it's $314,000 we took in from backflow tests and sprinkler fees. That's more than we need to get that total, I mean, we're beating our heads against the wall trying to make sure the number adds up, and it looks like it adds up.
Yeah, you take in, what does that look bad? No, all right.
Yes, we don't wanna raise it, ignoring the
No,
300.
you can't. Well, you can, but just back the total budget down by that amount.
Well, no, but if we're doing it, we don't want the rate to come up, and then we end up with a $500,000 surplus next year, to string us up from the, not getting flagpole at school.
I still can't believe we're well under $1 million in water usage.
Goes a little faster.
Would you do a tap on Charles Street today?
Yeah, we have one more to go there and then he's all built out.
Those aren't bad to do there, are they? All same?
No, they're not bad.
Look at to where I can actually read this. Yeah, like that negative revenue.
Yeah.
We paid
that
them to
was
take
just-
water from us.
Well, what I did was I calculated out what we should generate out of the basic rate, and then I took out of our yearly report what the usage was, and I subtracted it, and that's why you get the negative number. I'm like, all right, something's going
Yeah.
wrong. But then nothing was adding up, and I'm like, all right, I'm wasting time here trying to figure out something where something's obviously not right.
Is industrial 1 unit wrong on that too?
That's the old rates right there.
No, I even need for that though, wasn't it 50 times 7,400? 50. Oh, never mind, I'm reading it wrong. That was the line that Wendy's 450,000 was showing up, that's what.
Yeah, she corrected, there were 3 abatements last year.
There's a lot when you go through there on the excess, the usage,
Yeah.
and the amount it calculates ain't right.
Right,
I mean, they're everywhere.
What's not right about it?
They don't, it's 6.25 or 6.75 per 100 cubic feet. You'll have something that says 300 cubic feet of excess usage and $10,000 worth of it on a bill.
Why is that? What's that? What's
It's a math error, they're all over the place.
on our billing system?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we end up collecting it, because we probably.
No, it has to do with a decimal issue. But once you
The
finalize,
decimal doesn't even work though, if you go by what's on the sheets that you sent me. It's not even a decimal, it'll be something like 12,000 cubic feet, and I don't care what you do with the decimal, it doesn't come close to what the number shows up. There's a lot of them like that.
no, I know, I don't think that's right.
Oh,
We'll have to go over it for sure.
I mean, I got a feeling we end up fixing most of them.
Yeah, if it's astronomical like that,
Yeah,
that's why
it
those are
shows
water
up.
adjustments. Oh, yeah, definitely.
But it's
But
just
once
it's
I
just
file,
wiring.
it shows up because it was finalized in, like, once you finalize something, even though you adjust it,
It
it
won't
doesn't
go
take.
back and change it.
No, that's what the issue is.
Yeah.
It does, the billing system doesn't allow for that.
It'd be nice if it did the math right in the first place too, but.
It just doesn't.
Is this the billing system Phyllis got before she left?
yeah.
How much research was put into that before we got it?
Well, so John, the old treasure collector, Duggan, he wanted us to use what they used because it, they already had it and it would have been perfect, the way they're set up, and she was adamant she didn't want the same thing as them. Why, I don't know. I mean, this billing system's in Kentucky, like there were 3 other places around here, because I think she contacted Whitman and obviously Hanson, and then there was somebody else, but she chose, I don't know.
Anybody else around got this billing system that you know
No.
of?
That's
Nobody.
just one
That
is
might be
New York.
something to put on our list of things to talk
Yeah.
about in the next year. How long have we tied it? Is this
I'll have to ask, I honestly don't know. I've been here since 2011. When did she leave, 2015?
Yeah.
So since then, because as soon as she,
It was right before she left. She
yeah,
got
the
it.
bill went out like September 1st, and she was gone like within 3 days, and it didn't even go out right. And then I was stuck here.
Oh, yeah, you got stuck dealing with all of it.
I still pick up pieces of different things from, not even just the billing that, I've had to try and figure out on my own.
No, and just the time I spent trying to dig my way through those.
It's
it can't
not
be
an
fun.
easy thing.
No, and it shouldn't be that hard.
Mm-mm.
It really shouldn't.
And even when there was a changeover with the town accountant, like it was all, I was taught to do it one way from one person. When she came in, she was like, well, why is it done this way? And there was
Yeah.
like different, and she says, like, there's no rhyme or reason as to why this is. So I don't know.
Yeah. No, 'cause most of the stuff I'm trying to look at should be, if you have a
Oh, yeah.
system like that, you should be able to pull that information out
Mm-hmm.
like nothing.
You
You
know,
know? Got it?
well, I'm looking at the excess from the last year, the 4 quarters, and it was almost, it was 947, 213.
Yeah.
And out of the report, that's where our number, go back, I'm showing 471, so. Make that, oh, I guess you gotta click on that first. There, now we generate that number.
Yeah, because you got all negatives in there and that.
Right, that's why the report, you can't, I've never been able to successfully pull a report that I trust out of the thing.
That's something we need to look at going forward, because this is.
The commitment comes out and it's correct, but then when I go for the report, it's not. And my annual report goes from January, you know, to the end of December, which
Yeah.
is not, doesn't fall in line with any of our billing periods.
Yep. All right, so that's cut it at 2132.
Yeah, I mean, that's a rough estimate that, that's based on last year's excess, which this year would be higher. Remember,
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying, but we need 2141, 766. So
Right.
we're close, and if the excess goes up,
yeah, it's gonna be higher than that. Yeah, 2141, here, we're just under, it'll be higher than that. I think
the
I,
August bill was May, June, July, right?
yeah.
Do we know the difference from May, June, July this year to last year?
I think I have that.
I mean, if we just go straight, almost.
So it is, yeah, so it went, so August of last year, so it was 287,000 last year, just roughly, this year it was 420. You're almost, just short of double.
So if we even take that, never mind doubling it, we take last year's and just add that difference on, we're well over.
Yeah, yeah, because that's an extra $200,000 this year
Yeah.
between last year's.
So we're good, as far as that goes.
Right, no, if anything, so if you have 2 quarters like that, now you're 400,000 over.
Yeah, but you never know, if all of a sudden it gets humid or.
Okay, so we're in that second one right now, and we went at least halfway through with them using it.
Is it, what is it dropping now?
It's dropping, but it's not, they're not down in the 500s or the 600s, they're still in the 7s, they're still using some water. But we have been getting rain every here and there, so we're entering another drought period. I don't think we're gonna get like sprinkled one day, and then the next time I think I saw rain was like next Monday or something.
So what were we picking out earlier this summer? We were over 1 million, weren't we?
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
pretty much 900 or 1 million every day.
So if we keep running the numbers you have, you just change the excess to the, whatever it was last year, plus, what, 421 minus 287.
It's almost 200.
421 minus 287.
So you have 9, so last year was,
About 135,000.
the excess was 940, let me
Right.
generate this.
Quarterly excess was 287, 358.
947, 213, 213, and if you add another
Plus
300,000 to it,
168.
brings you to 1.2, so that would change that one. Just a rough forecast would be, this would become 1, 2, 4, 7, 2, 3.
2.4 million.
Right. And you only have to cover 228, 772, so you must go 229.
No, it's covering 2174, no, 2141.
Yeah, for the budget, yep.
Yeah, so we, somehow or other, we figured it out okay last time.
Right.
We just, well, part of this,
Well, part of it, you have to forecast the excess because it's a huge, it's like 70% or better of the revenue stream.
which should come down as we increase the rate.
Right, they'll automatically pinch back.
Or even if we don't, just by increasing the basic. not
Well,
changing the
it's hard to
excess.
tell because when it went up, it was a drought year, and then we went into like 3 back-to-back wet years. So,
Back to that commitment.
Yeah.
Okay, we get, then your other sheet, which has that number up, is still isn't including the money coming in from, sprinkler and,
no, I put that in there, that's,
oh, you did add it
yeah,
back?
it's this,
I just didn't.
it's that number right there.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. You just put it in the total.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, so the way that comes out, we're fine. With surplus, and if we sell more water, the surplus will be even better. So we don't have to change what we were saying in the letter for the amount.
No, it's just how it,
It's just
all of the rates will be adjusted accordingly.
a $15 increase to the base, to the basic charge with all rate codes adjusted accordingly.
Yeah, that would cover it, because it's
Something like, yeah, 'cause the thing is the rate code, it isn't clear to somebody unless you can read that.
right.
It's in Rick's head real well.
Well, I had it, but then when I got as far as Matfield Woods, I'm like, all right, it doesn't work. What's wrong?
Yeah. But then I guess what, Matfield Woods
And Beacon.
Beacon, we bill as if,
Right, the other way.
need a manual.
Yeah, well, should. It's not up to me, but you should open up what they're allowed, raise the base, start solidifying our thing, so we're not dependent upon weather.
No, I think we'll
Getting
get,
clouded by the weather.
I agree. I think we need, and maybe it'll help if that gets going and they actually do a rate study.
Right.
Kind of push into that, maybe simplify some of these and, like you said, push it so we're not as dependent.
Yeah.
We did a rate study not long ago, didn't we?
Yeah, he never finished.
Who was it?
It was, not Charter, it was, the guys we did, Ty and Bond.
Really? And they couldn't?
When he saw the 23 rate codes, all he did was complain from that point on. And then he did come in and start presenting it, but trust me, so we already had the rate adjusted up. We were asking him to adjust it so we could bring it back down, and he was proposing even higher rates. Leave him to the public to get hanged.
Yeah, they want to do a whole different rate structure. I didn't like it. I forget what
Well, I mean,
it
you know,
And truly, we are different than everybody else. Other people have increasing blocks.
yeah.
I mean, obviously, it is what gets created at the time, and then as more people you look at each other, then you get to see, all right, this is how they do it, and that's better, or,
Well, but it's almost, looking at some of it, almost looked like a project had come in and get its own rate.
Right.
Really, it isn't. It's the way that
right,
it was added on for the additional units.
yeah,
With that explanation, it made some more sense.
yeah, no, it makes sense. It just makes it hard.
Yeah.
You have so many places where it can go wrong, inputting it into the building system, because they don't know, when they're sitting here, they just see an address, they don't know it's part of this or that, or,
No, and like I said, when I was going through it, all of a sudden, what the hell's that doing there? What the hell's,
like,
Captain's House and wait, there's no businesses
That was all done prior to us.
But that's, you wonder how much stuff isn't.
So we
coded
can't
right.
fix that like Captain Carlson Way? There's
Well,
like-
I would
Find
think
it.
somebody's gonna have to probably go through every freaking line of the
That's the
420
commitment
pages
is huge.
and figure out which, and some of the things don't give the meter number, well, you don't have anything really gives the meter number with the code.
Right.
So to try to figure out which one, you can kind of tell if it's in residential, commercial, or business, but you wouldn't know if it was in the right one unless you looked at the amount they billed in the basic.
Right.
So, yeah, and some of the basics were oddball too. I don't know what the $93 basic charge.
Yeah.
93?
Yeah, there's a bunch of them, there's some $9.33. It's gotta be something in their billing program.
I don't know.
I don't either, all I know I was getting freaking headaches trying to figure it out.
I'll let you figure it out.
Plus, looking at it on the computer screen, there's no way I was printing out 500 pages worth of stuff. Let's see if we can get Rick out of there.
You got any complaints?
Yellow water or bills?
Yellow water, both?
Oh, well, yeah, on the bills, it's like Farm Road and like the bigger developments that turned on their irrigation and,
So they get big excess all of a sudden?
$1,200, $1,300 bills compared to,
That's the total for a quarter.
for one bill, yeah,
For a quarter. 12 to 1,300 they're paying?
compared to like an $80 winter bill,
Well,
$80.
But all those places are all sprinklered and they probably
yeah.
have them cranking every
And
day.
they're kind of all new, so they don't, they call and they're like, something's wrong, and then I see the address and I'm like, yeah.
Then you
And
see
it
the
shows,
usage.
right, yeah, then they're like, yeah, but it still shouldn't be that much, and then I explain how it's billed, like, like I'll walk them right through it, take their total usage, subtract the $750.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God, I didn't realize, a lot of those.
Wait till we get the next
a lot.
one.
Today-
So they're gonna get two like that, really. They'll get 2 quarters like that.
And this one will have
The
the
increase.
higher increase
Yeah.
on it as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what happens, if they get it, and all of a sudden they shut it down.
Well,
Oh,
but
yeah.
that's why you got to increase on the basic,
Yeah.
because they shut it down, you're still getting,
Yeah, every time we've gone up, the water usage has gone down.
Yeah.
We were over 1 million gallons every day in the summer before.
A couple people that called though, like, like one guy was like, he said that, he's like, oh my God, I gotta shut that off immediately, and then he was like, but everybody else's lawn looks so good, I don't wanna be the only one in the neighborhood that has the grass, the
Yeah.
grass or something, so.
Now, listen, you wanna increase revenue, we need to have a green grass contest in town. Who's got
oh
the best
yeah,
lawn?
DEP got wind of that, they can shut our wells off. They don't like the fact that they get sprinklers.
Oh, really shouldn't even be dumping treated water on a lawn.
Well, no. How about water quality, have we been getting yellow water?
I was on vacation last week,
Yeah.
but there's nothing in the log, and today I just had one at 104 Copeland.
That up in
Copeland's
that
been a
little,
problem, yeah. What's the name?
yeah, that's up in that spot where we're figuring it.
Last name was Snell, actually.
Snell?
Karen Snell?
What's her name?
Karen?
Karen Snell?
Karen, Kerin, I think,
On Colton Street?
104.
Nobody I know. Yeah.
But I think usually, tomorrow's September 1st, so usually like the week after Labor Day week is when they usually start the flushing program.
And then you hit the. So you know what we need to do, Art? You got it figured out?
Oh, hell yeah, need to raise the rates. What we did last time works.
All right, let's
It actually works a little better because of all those 750s that are gonna be adding in.
All right, let's go with it.
Yeah, but it's just, that first time we were forgetting that 300 and some odd $1,000.
Yeah, we can't do that. That's.
So yeah, all of a sudden it looked like we weren't gonna make it. I don't know what Rick's doing in there on that spreadsheet though. Neither of us could go in and get it because that'd be an illegal meeting. Although what this is.
So it's this, right?
What to do, you'll be there.
No, this isn't. Is it?
No, we're discussing things on the agenda, Rich just isn't in the room.
We're not gonna vote or anything.
No,
As long as we get that wording, well, the letter's going to Gagny anyway.
for
They-
review.
For review, they can kind of check the wording, as long as we didn't have to change the amount we voted on.
This is the letter here?
Yeah,
Who wrote this?
Wayne wrote that, I gave him a couple of comments.
It's good.
back on
No,
it,
it's
but-
good, I like it. Explains it well.
Well, it's gotta be so they understand it when they
Yeah,
read it without.
yeah.
That's the biggest thing. A
You
lot
can't,
of
you
people-
put too much stuff
You
in.
get,
it
you gotta
sometimes.
give them some information,
You have
you
to.
gotta, people wanna jump to conclusions, and if you give them all the information, it's better.
Well, if they understand how it works too, you know, especially how you bill, that's the biggest thing. What's it gonna look like?
You know,
when it's
especially when they get it. But I had one huge bill one time, helped me. It was good, because I had a leaky toilet that I hadn't caught. And so I didn't notice it, because the excess charge was way up, the thing was going.
So Farm Road had a few,
Hmm?
Farm Road had a few questions on their bills, huh?
It's usually like, your Farm Road and then the other one that's right
Pearl
there.
Road,
What is it?
Pearl Road, for the one on the
A
other side.
few on Pearl Road, a lot on Copper Beach.
Oh, Copper Beach, they've been there a while, huh?
Yeah, Copper Beach has been, that's the one off 106.
Yeah, off, well, yeah,
106
off of
in
Crescent.
between- Yeah, off of Crescent.
I'm trying to think of, there's
They
a couple of
used to shoot
ones.
geese in that cornfield before they made a
The
subdivision.
exact cornfield there?
Yeah.
How big are some of the bills you've seen with what sprinkler systems, Gary?
I would say they average anywhere between 800 and 1,300. There's probably like at
Per
least a
quarter.
dozen. Just usually like, definitely like the first from from May to August. And then you'll see some high usage, like on the August, you know, on the November bill from
Yeah,
yeah.
August, but not nearly as much as this. But it's
No,
been so dry
especially
this
if
summer.
there was no rain for so long. If you
Mhm.
had a green line, you were watering.
So my point, is some of these people are spending $2,800 on sprinkler.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Easy, right?
Yeah, a lot of money to green the lawn.
Yeah.
Well, we build the town and the schools and stuff. They actually give us a check, but do we actually get paid? Is there just an internal transfer or something?
I have no idea, because we take payments, but we don't do the actual deposits, like people can come down and pay by check only, and then I bring it up to the treasure collector's office.
So they just do it up there and,
Yeah, a couple times a week. I
What was
go
your
up
question
there.
on?
yeah, I just wondered if we were getting all the money that we build for like the town buildings and the schools and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
do we ever see it on a line, do we ever see it in accounting?
I mean,
Yeah.
it shows up in our buildings. and
It shows up on
stuff.
the-
I was just wondering if it actually shows.
Because they actually get billed, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it shows up on their billing history. I'll gladly look at other billing systems. I just, I didn't know, I don't know how long.
So what do we have?
By now, it's probably been 5 years
Yeah, and
anyway.
I would think it'd be like an annual contract or something at this point, that they're doing it. I mean, if you could find out,
Yeah, I will.
because it might, if we
I
have
will
these
look
kind
at
of issues, it might be worth us looking into switching over to something else.
Mhm. Do you want me to go in there? Can I go? I can go in there.
Well, Wayne's in there already, isn't he?
I thought I heard him. Did you call me?
Gonna be a while.
Not gonna change the end result.
Nope. Samoset's getting ready to open back up.
I guess,
They were down there, Ferdinand Rocco was down there cleaning up the kitchen.
Oh, was he? Yeah.
And they, I guess Casper's supposed to go and inspect it fairly soon.
That's good, they need to pay the bills.
Yeah, but they still limited how many people that can get in the place.
Well, outside, I think. You got that
Yeah.
outside.
No way can
Yeah.
you get 100 people in there.
Say that again?
No way can you get 100 people in there.
In the outside?
Right now,
Inside.
right now, they'd be limited to 25 people inside, and that
Yeah.
includes the people in the kitchen, the people in the.
That's 20, but outside you can have more, right?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Outside, I think you can have 100.
Yeah, so they got plenty of room outside.
Is it 100 or 50?
I
It's a
thought,
gathering of 50, I thought.
I thought it was still 100 outdoors.
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe, well, we haven't been paying that much attention to
No.
it lately.
But crazy time.
Huh.
Oh, it is.
You're telling me. I got laid off from the other place and got a new job.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Were they open or?
So, yeah, they were open the whole time, but it's a sports bar. Can't sit at the bar. There's no sports,
Yeah.
you know.
So
So I'm working down
are
the
they
street.
actually serving food so people can at least get in?
Oh,
and-
yeah, you have, that's.
Yeah, you have to order
You have to
food.
order food.
Yeah, no, my friend owns the brewery over in Bridgewater in Scotland Park.
Yeah.
It's like they use food trucks. Well, a lot of times the food trucks, there's gonna be bad weather, they don't wanna show up, so they end up with a crock pot full of hot dogs. You know, just in case
You have to
people
have
can
food.
come in, they have to buy a hot dog. And it's gotta show up on a slip that every person they serve a beer to had food.
It's crazy.
No, it's nuts.
I mean, I guess it makes sense, don't get me wrong, but it's just a crazy time.
Well, might have to bring the camera, Rick wants us to go in there.
Oh, boy.
The number of units that there is on the second year, how much money would we generate? So there's like, this one here, Riverbend, there's 11 other units, so we're gonna generate 8250, but
Yeah.
there's 4 buildings, so there's an extra $345. So it just did the spreadsheet all the
And
way
that's
around.
per quarter.
That's per quarter.
But we're actually only collecting that 3 times this year. Right, so we're bringing in basically an extra $120,000 this year,
Right.
and that covers us.
You better hit save.
Yeah,
Now, if we had to change the rate, all we had to do was change the 2 blocks at the top. That's how I used to do it. Experiment, you know, we used to say, what if it was $15, what if it was $10?
that'll cover it.
Okay.
We looked at it 100 different ways, and it looked like it was gonna cover it,
Okay, so we're good.
because we have, what were the 2 numbers? We have 141, 766,
You better
Nice.
say that and show that to the accountant.
12, 994.
Well, later,
Are they happy with what we gave him for 11?
I sent him and he didn't really answer back on it.
Alright, well,
He-
how'd you get that up there?
While you were doing that in there, I was doing it out here.
Oh,
How much
oh, that's not the one of there.
No,
How much did you say was the extra that we were bringing in from the excess use this quarter? It was like 100?
so. I think it was like 137,000. If you look between, so there's the 420.
And that gives us about a $30,000 surplus.
Yeah,
And that's with no, if there was no increase this quarter. So we can keep it where we had it. And just, what was that last wording we talked about, 15?
amending the motion from the last.
So we're just trying to make, actually, we don't even have to do the motion if we get it right in the letter, do we? Because we said, we're still saying we're changing the basic rate to $15. And all
yeah,
this stuff propagates.
Right, and then adjusting all the other rates accordingly with that built into them.
With that formula.
And
Yeah, with the per unit,
formula, yeah.
but we don't even have to change the vote because that's carries anyway, but the letter should say that, otherwise it looks like we're not getting as much as
We always used to just change the rate on the basic customer, and then we made the adjustment to everybody else
What?
Mike, can you-
Yeah, no,
according to what,
No, they're not
No,
changing.
Anything.
it's just that the stuff doesn't say that.
I know.
So, but it makes sense the way it actually works out.
Okay. So, do we have to do any more then?
So is the rate increase number, do you have to change the numbers in the rate increase letter, the short one? To match that final, because I think now we're gonna have a little more free cash.
Yeah,
And those two numbers, the committed revenue and
Right.
free cash are gonna change.
yeah, I can change them.
Check all the numbers that we had there, make sure the buildings are right, like Esther Drive and
Yeah.
like that, just, you know,
Yeah,
the golf course, make sure
yeah.
that everything is right, because as soon as you change one of those numbers, all the figures are gonna change, and you just change your bottom number.
Right,
You know, it may change from 39,000 to 40,000, but it's not gonna be much. But you should be right on the money.
No, we'll be good, we'll have just about a $40,000 surplus.
Okay.
And then if we sold more water this quarter, we'll have even more.
But you can't bank on that one.
No, and we're not, that's the
You
thing.
can't bank on it.
We're only banking on what we've already sold.
Okay, so, we all done discussing that, or you wanna change your?
You know what you're changing.
well, it already says that you were changing it $15 across the board on all of our various 23 rates, so what do you want it to say?
Well, the problem is looking at the 23 various rates,
Yeah, so,
it looks like 6680 would be
And
6695. So
so-
adjusted a $15 $15 across the board on all of our 23 various rates with $15 plus additional unit. It needs to say something about what that
I
$750.
am, yeah, it's just a, yes.
$15.
So $15.
Across the board.
Adjusting all of our rates per formula, or I'm trying to figure out how to say it in writing now.
Yeah, $15 across.
Accordingly.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, all other rates will be, all other multi-units will be
Adjusting all of our
adjusted
rates,
accordingly.
adjusting all of our rates accordingly,
Yeah.
or adjusting all of our rate codes accordingly.
It would be adjusted similar.
Single-family unit will be an increase of $15 per quarter. All multi-units will be adjusted accordingly.
According to multifamily rates.
Right. According to their
Multi-unit.
discount, multi-family discount or something.
Well, poor multi-unit rate code.
Alright, so the basic part of the rate increase by 15, adjusting all of our rate codes accordingly. I don't know if that. Accordingly.
According to multifamily rate code.
$15 across the board plus $7.50 per unit in accordance with the rate code.
All in favor?
$15 across the board. No, not too good. and then I have to adjust all those numbers in there. Alright, so $15 across the board, adjusting all of our rate codes by $7.50 per units accordingly. Let me see if I can blow it up, I see everybody squinting.
If you blow it up, I'll have to walk halfway there to read it.
I can barely see it on the screen as it was.
Basic power rate was increased $15 across the board, adjusting all the rate codes by $7.50 per additional unit. And maybe put and in front of adjusting. So $15 across the board and adjusting all of our rate codes by $7.50 per additional unit accordingly. And then the new numbers from the spreadsheet all get put in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a,
Okay, so that's,
Are you also doing this letter to,
Yeah, because you gotta notify them that the rates have gone
yeah,
up.
this one's for the public, just, I mean, this one just changed that, put that same thing in there.
That's because it's got wicked small writing.
Because the rest of it, I don't think you need to go into more detail as long as it's in there.
15 per quarter. Let me go back, grab it out of that one.
Oh, you didn't want to try to type it again?
No.
That's all I
I mean, this letter doesn't have to go out right away, but the one to DOR has to get up to David.
Yeah, put those numbers in and send the letter to David.
Yeah.
did Tom leave?
No, I think he was just putting the drawings out,
Um,
so they didn't forget them.
If you want to send me that spreadsheet you just did, you want me to try to put it into closer to that DOR?
Let me see which one. This one. That one?
the one.
The one you just did with Rick that has the right numbers.
Oh, that one, all right.
Because I can take those numbers and I can put it into that thing and I'll email it back to you.
All right.
At least it'll look like what they're looking for.
Yeah.
But that way I'll just use your numbers.
Yeah.
Because those are all, those are the
All right,
correct numbers.
yeah, I'll just check to make sure we have all the proper units.
Yep.
Alright, so, we all set with that subject?
Yep.
Okay. Update on water permit,
There's been no change.
update on, the new water source
There's no change there either.
and the leak detection.
All right, so, I'll bring it to the front, well, after I get through these spreadsheets. But I think I have 3 weeks now before the next meeting. I'll bring it to the front burner, but already this year, we found one on Ash Street that was a long-term leak, and we've already that one up by the church was looking at the hole in the pipe was a long-term leak, so we've already captured a couple of good leaks. I mean, obviously, we're trying to get rid of the old mains. If we go after the steel mains, if we can get DPW to work with us, we could maybe abandon one a year if we could get them to work with us and pave the street over behind us. Or I'll call all those leak detection companies and have them give me estimates.
But would they have found either one of those leaks you found?
They might have found, I don't know if they would have chased the service line, because the church, it was off on, it was fed a long time ago, it's like spaghetti, so I don't know if they would have followed the copper out to find that.
So like I
they
said,
might
we
have
probably
heard-
wouldn't
And
even
then we didn't
found.
even know Ash Street was actually active.
Where was Ash Street leak?
So it was leaking out at South Main, but the whole thing was leaking because I talked with the customer, he goes, that's always been wet out there. Well, it wasn't wet anymore when we finished. So,
But like I'm saying.
they wouldn't have found those two because they're
Didn't
not
we
on the
have a
main.
leak detection company?
So we had them come in and yes, they actually went right by
They
the
didn't
big
find a
leak.
lot.
They didn't find it and
much.
they were on a hydrant within 500 feet of it.
But what did they find when we had them here? They didn't find anything.
The only one that they found was under Route 24 on South Elm, and we dug that down and looked around, and the ground was bone dry. There wasn't even any groundwater. There was nothing there, but that was the only place that he indicated that he had a noise.
So I don't think they find these small leaks, small ones, unless it's at a gate or at a.
Right, but I'm,
Depends, but if DEP is gonna look at our
right,
number.
they haven't mandated us
We
yet.
want to at least have our
Right.
ducks in a row so we can move forward.
Right.
Well, we found, so we can say we found the two we found.
Right, they could say that, but until it, so you're allowed 2 years now, so if this year, if we kept those two and that brings us under, then we'd be okay. This time, I also know that the skaters kind of over-reporting, so I can put that in there, so I have things that I can fight with them on.
What do you feel? You feel we still got some good leaks out there?
I'd still hold off for 1 more year, I mean, we just capped those two and those were good leaks that didn't
I
surface.
bet we got more too, huh?
With all that
Every
little pipe
system
we've
has
got,
leaks, there's
We
nothing,
got it.
they'll tell you that every joint, it's gonna leak over time anyways, and you've got pipes that date back to forever. And obviously, no town can go around replacing them all, they wait until they're falling apart.
But we're not bad for the amount of water we're pumping in a dry summer.
No,
But I guess we need,
I'm on a
I guess we need to look at what we're
problem
pumping and what
this
we're
year.
billing.
it might be better, and I have a better handle on, I didn't realize what the skater was doing, so I have a better handle on that. And you're not in trouble until they tell you are, and I haven't heard anything, and you're allowed, like I said, they opened it up, so everybody must have problems staying in that 10%, because,
So were we
They
good the
opened
year
it up.
before?
so the year before we were fine, we were like 9.6 or
Alright,
9.7.
so if we get back to this one, we might be back on.
Right, they'll leave us alone, then you're open for 2 more years again somewhere.
And we account for our blow-off water, right?
Yep,
Are we metering it?
yeah, we put on a meter before, because it's not supposed to be touched. So we put on a meter when I'm doing the annual report, and we measure it for a couple of days, and then we go back, and then
You
I
just
take
do the
number.
math and use that?
Yep.
Right.
I want to go back to discussion there of, now that we're talking about replacing the old mains and that. We were talking about Kevin Parker's house.
He's on the new main,
Huh?
he's on the 12-inch,
He is?
yes,
You changed them all?
yep.
Okay, good, excellent. All right. It's, that's one thing, that 4-inch there is one of those that we gotta get rid of. That's not a 6, that's a 4.
Yeah, it's a 4.
All right, so, anybody got anything else?
So the only other thing I have, is so right now, I'm ahead of my seniority date is in October, and currently I'm carrying 30+ days of vacation time. I think I can get it down to 20. I'm waiting for my trailer, it's in queue to be repaired, and then I'm gonna work with the guys, so suddenly I'll burn it all off, try and get that back together. But I don't know when that's gonna be, I've waited 1.5 years to get to this point, but nobody moved their trailers this year, so there aren't a lot of damaged trailers around. So I'm looking pretty good. But that's why I'm asking now, because if not, then I'm gonna disappear to burn my time down if you're not gonna sign off for me to carry over 20 days.
I don't have a problem with carryover. I mean, it's not like we're overly flush with people.
It's not, when I
work.
get to use it, I'm not gonna just take off and see you in 3 months. Even on the days I'm off, I'm still in here in the morning and then I go off. but it's up to you guys, it's not,
How many are you allowed to carry over typically?
I'm not mandated. It's not, the guys are only allowed 5, but salary can, it's up to your bosses, you guys.
At what point do you have to ask us?
I'm asking you now, because I can stop burning them, but I'm not gonna see you until October.
No, but I'm just saying, at what point, what triggers you having to ask us?
Because it's an excessive amount, it's not, but I've done it every year, I've almost carried the same amount over. I'm getting closer to having a life, my kid's, she's in her last year. I'm gonna have some money to do something.
Yeah. Doesn't go away.
I don't have any problem with it, carrying over, do you?
Nope.
Alright. So just
Well,
do
you're
it,
in
just
the
do what
time,
you
yeah.
have to do.
Yeah, I know it's excessive and it's been
Take them when
carried.
you, take them if you can fit them in, and if you can't fit them in, we'll carry
Right,
them
I
over.
fit them in where I can, and
Okay.
right now this is on the front burner.
Carrie, do you have anything?
Just one thing, Friday, this last Friday was Patricia's last day here,
Oh, that was,
Tricia's?
yeah.
yeah,
How come?
well, she
Got another
felt it
job?
better to, she didn't feel like she was grasping the job.
She has a lot going on. They adopted a nephew that they have,
Yeah.
he's autistic and
Special
stuff,
needs,
so, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Probably about
Does
3
she?
years ago, 4
Yeah,
years ago.
It's
Oh,
been a
really?
while, and
I didn't know she was getting done.
yeah,
I didn't know that either. Well, that's too bad.
and then I have one other question, also something I'll bring to the
Did
front.
you bring that up to looking to replace her, or?
Well,
you good?
I'm sure eventually it'll have to be replaced. Like during the COVID, when I was home, I did come in, twice a week, but, I didn't utilize her.
We didn't use her for almost 4 months.
Okay.
And then I have 2 open recs, so we're having this thing, I'm gonna bring it to the front burner, I'm just hired 2 laborers. I can tell you, when I called all the enterprise systems and looked at their jobs, nobody's labeled laborer. I still call it a derogatory term, but I'll hire 2 laborers, and as long as they're not gonna get laid off to try to make our budget thing look better or something.
Well, we have the money in there, still rather
It's
have
built in
some,
there.
I'd still rather have somebody that can take
All right.
more of the load off of you.
Yep, well,
But I know
I
we have
did-
issues trying to do that.
I kinda gave up on that. You'd have to almost hire him as a technical specialist or something, you'd have to change him out.
And there's
And
no,
then you have to pay more to them. It's not. So it's easier just to find somebody and we'll make it, it's made it this far, right? I mean, this department existed long before I got here.
try to keep, we push somebody to try to step up a little bit extra, but
Yeah, I'll pay, and instead of this time putting out on Indeed, I'll pay to have it put out on Monster and see if we get a different clientele or better shots.
You do.
Alright, the TV says it's time to go.
Well, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a
Wait, hold
motion.
on,
Nope.
Oh,
next
Next
meeting,
meeting,
oh yeah, next meeting.
3 weeks, right?
September 21, Monday.
Okay. Motion to adjourn?
Sun's over by that point.
Summer's all done.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.